Welcome back to LePodcast episode 60. As always, you're here with Hoop, Saney, and the infamous Easy Hunt Show. I haven't been this excited for an episode in a while. We had it marked up since our last one as we did the East playoff duo rankings. If you haven't seen that, it's a good watch. Today's the West, which is even tougher. There's 10 playoff teams, including the play-ins, but there's too many good teams in the West to the point where we made it 12. We're going to rank the top 12 teams in the West, their playoff duos, based on our personal preference. We're going to discuss after every 4 listings, as opposed to arguing with each other over why Lauri Markkanen and Jordan Clarkson is a worse playoff duo than, with all due respect, Saney, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Josh Giddey. I just don't want to spend that much time on that. We're going to be talking about the big dogs.
Just for a reference for the viewer, I'm not even gonna pretend you didn't even say that. Just as a reference for the viewers,
They not? They're not the big dogs.
The
You can admit that.
We can spend this whole episode. The 3 teams in the West we're not discussing: Trailblazers, Spurs, and Rockets. Trailblazers are like 3 games behind the play-in as of today. They've dug themselves a hole that's going to be very hard to get out of, considering every other team is competing for a spot.
Dame, bro.
We should pray that they don't win a championship or something, you know?
Yes. And I think it's self-explanatory why the Spurs or the Rockets won't be in this list. Last time, I think I started, and then it was Z, and then Hoop. If we want to reverse the order, so Hoop starts, and then Z, and then me, we can do that.
I'd love
Hoop,
to.
if you want to kick us off, and so we can get going.
So I think the worst playoff core in the West out of the teams we're discussing, the top 12 seeds.
Duos, not core.
Duos. As of Sunday, March 19th at 6:25 p.m., I think it is Lauri Markkanen and Jordan Clarkson, if that's their duo. I know Kessler's a baller. I'm assuming it's Jordan Clarkson. So that's what I'm going with.
For my 12 spot, I agree. I actually put down. Shut up. I actually.
Yeah, seriously.
Seriously.
I was waiting for him to say like Anthony Edwards or something. Like I was waiting for something crazy.
Nah, I put down Lauri and whoever the hell else you want to throw at him. Sexton.
I agree with Z there.
Clarkson.
Like I don't know who else it is. I said Clarkson. I said Lauri Clarkson for 12, so we can move on to 12 or 11.
I am so relieved after.
Yeah, seriously. I was getting
that
ready.
fiasco.
After that great piece of entertainment last episode.
At 11, I do have Shai and Josh Giddey of the OKC Thunder.
At 11, I also have SGA and Josh Giddey, the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know about you.
Well, this is where we're going to argue, and I don't want you guys giving me any facial expressions until we get to the recap of the 4
he's going
picks.
on a
I'm saying
Saney-esque rant.
Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert at 11.
You said and Rudy?
Yeah, I don't have Cat because he's been injured for too long.
Yep, me neither.
And
I
that's
don't have Cat.
and I'm talking about this season. So I have Ant and Rudy.
So you said you didn't want us to argue after your rant. Where's the
Yeah,
rant?
we're recapping top 4, right? So when
That
we
is
get to the
true.
recap,
That is true.
I want to.
Yeah, I have Ant and Gobert at 10, just
Okay.
above Shai and Giddey.
I also have Ant and Gobert at 10.
I have Shai and Giddey at 10. So we
That's
have one
fair.
more pick.
Yep.
We have one more pick, and then we recap.
I got John Morant and Desmond Bane at 9.
Desmond Bane is the guy.
Okay, fair. I actually have Zion and BI at 9. Actually,
Yeah, I agree with Z there. I have Zion and BI at 9.
Unfortunately.
And yeah, so those are 4 picks. The main disagreement, obviously, because you guys both disagreed with me having Ant below Shai and Giddey, and I'm gonna let you guys know why.
Hey, there's
We're
another
looking at-
person in that duo. You said Ant as if Rudy Gobert is not a person.
He's not. Not joking. No, like Ant and Rudy. Well, Rudy isn't the reason I'm putting them. You guys are putting them over, right? Like it's not Rudy Gobert being the reason you put them over.
It actually is.
Well, I'm gonna explain to you why.
It
We're looking at
actually-
playoff duos. Who brings the best out of the other player? Rudy does not bring the best out of Ant. That man clogs the paint and, if anything, restricts Anthony Edwards from being the 3-level scorer that he is and restricting him to 2 levels when Rudy Gobert is on the court. Rudy Gobert is an offensive liability for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I understand he doesn't get a lot of touches, and they don't really give him a chance. I get that. But at the end of the day, we're talking about playoff duos. Josh Giddey brings out the best in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Giddey is one of the best playmakers in the league, He is turning into a triple-double machine. He is a core piece for that Thunder lineup. And then when you have Shea playing at the 2 spot beside Giddey, when you have a playmaker like Giddey finding Shea in the right spot at the right time, that just brings the best out of Shea. And it also allows Giddey to use his playmaking abilities to the fullest because Giddey has players he can rely on around him. Anthony Edwards cannot rely on Rudy Gobert. So that's why I put Shea and Giddey over Anthony Edwards and Gobert, because those two as a partnership are better than what Ant and Gobert can bring you. And I get defensively, obviously, that duo is better, but I would rather have peak offense than whatever they're doing over in Minnesota, because clearly it's not translating to wins.
Well, we're talking about the duo, not just Minnesota.
I 100%, and I agree with that.
I think
I'm
Ant
just
gives
saying,
you not the Shea level offense, but a fair amount of offense. It's been proven in the playoffs last year. I still don't know what Shea and Giddey are going to look like in the playoffs at their new state.
but we're judging in this regular season going into the playoffs.
Well, I'm allowed to use past context. That's what.
Okay, you have 1 round worth of past context for Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert. You have a bunch of first round exits.
It's better than none, and I appreciate.
So you have the worst case scenario of experience from Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert. The worst case scenario in the playoffs is getting bounced out the first round.
It's better than a no case scenario.
No, it isn't because the worst case scenario Shea can get is a first round exit. We know that Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert are peaking at first round exits. We don't know what Shea and Giddey are going to do.
When
so
have
that's
they played
the worst
together?
Case scenario.
When have they played together?
Who?
Ant and Gobert. You're saying their first round.
No, I'm saying
like
both of them
together.
individually. I'm saying both of them individually.
What does
both
that have to do with anything? First round exit is a team accomplishment.
Because you just said I take the experience.
Because
Shea has been out in the first round.
It's not the experience.
Shay's been out in the first
it's
round
the fact
before.
that I've seen
Shea
Anthony
took the
Edwards
Warriors in his
the
rookie
playoffs.
year. Shea took so you've seen Shea 2 years in the playoffs. One of them on the Thunder where he played great, and the other one with the Clippers. He was a rookie, and he was taking the Warriors to 6 games when that Clippers team had nobody on it. What? What are we talking about? Shea has playoff experience.
I have not seen Shea at this form with this new team.
Okay, but Shea in his previous form. Okay,
and
you haven't seen Rudy Gobert. You haven't seen Rudy Gobert in this form with this new team.
Fair,
and
but
Rudy Gobert is in a worse form.
I'm saying if we're comparing, like I already agree, Shea has the edge on Anthony Edwards. If I'm going player for player, who I want on my team,
defensively and offensively.
That's
both
fair.
sides.
That's fair.
Both sides of the court.
That's fair. And I'm just saying, when it gets down to Gobert and Giddey, I like what Giddey has done this season, but I know that Rudy Gobert is at the very least going to be a threat down in your paint. There's a lot of teams that could use a rim protector. And while he's not completely flawless, this is Giddey's first time around. He's a second-year player. So as much as I want to say that I'd love to see this, continued growth of Giddey that we've seen, because you said at the start of the season he was not the same way. He was like a shot chucker. I'm pretty sure I'm quoting you. At the start of the season, and he turned it around. So I'm just not going to say that I'm seeing this new Giddey, ride this wave into the playoffs, because the playoffs is a whole different environment. They're going to play.
This isn't a wave. It's a tsunami at this point, bro. Because he's been on the same stuff. He's been on the same stuff for multiple months now.
Hey, if it happens, I'm glad. I'm glad to change my. I'm glad to change my opinion.
The start of the season was bad because the Thunder were trying to figure things out. The Thunder were trying to figure things out because they're literally like half of their lineup is rookies. Both Jalen Williams start, and they're both rookies. Their whole bench is basically a rookie. Like, they're all rookies, so they're all still trying to figure things out. And the fact that they figured it out in like 4 months, and now they're competing for a playoff spot with teams like the Lakers and the Mavericks and the Timberwolves being them, and they're the youngest team in the league, but apparently the Rockets and the Spurs have a better young core. The Thunder are the youngest team in the league, and they're competing with the top dogs. I'm taking Giddey and Shea. And I it's not that far off. I'm not saying it's ridiculous. You guys are saying Ant and Gobert. You guys can have that take, and I respect it. I'm not trying to go at you guys for that take, but I'm saying the reason I put Shea and Giddey over is because I'm looking at them as a duo. Both of them bring the best out of each other. Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert don't bring the best out of each other. And when you have a chemistry, we've seen it. No, let me finish. We've seen it with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. When you have two players that don't work well together, tensions build up, and it doesn't translate on the court.
Well, if
Donovan Mitchell
had
a huge problem. Mitchell had a huge problem with Rudy Gobert, right? What's different about Anthony Edwards and Donovan Mitchell?
Edwards,
they're both high level,
Rudy Gobert
they're both 3-level scorers.
Yell at each other on the court, and if Anthony Edwards refuses to pass Gobert the ball multiple times, and it shows up on Twitter everywhere, and Gobert comes out and is petty and whatnot, then I'll start to believe that narrative. But I'm not going to believe a narrative out of thin air. I just think
I'm not setting a narrative. I'm setting what I'm seeing in the past. I've seen Rudy Gobert play with Anthony Edwards as player.
What?
I'm saying I've seen Rudy Gobert play with a Rudy Gobert play with an Anthony Edwards as players.
You were saying
exactly
Mitchell
their play styles don't work. Their play styles don't work. Their play styles don't work together. That's that point I'm trying to make.
And when we're in a playoff series, I'm saying, like, for the sake of a duo, bringing
Yes.
bringing the best out of your teammate is, while it does boost you as a duo, it doesn't make you better than if you have like Kevin Durant and a completely another piece. Like even if it is KD and Rudy Gobert, they don't bring anything out of each other, but they're just.
But that's a different story because that's Kevin Durant. Anthony Edwards isn't better than Shai
I
Gilgeous-Alexander.
agree. I'm just saying when you weigh when you weigh them, I'm looking at Giddey as the weak piece as of now. And that's where I think Gobert steps in. I think Gobert has become a little underrated.
I disagree. I think Giddey is the worst out of the four, but I don't see him as that much of a weak piece where you can put Ant and Gobert over Shai and Giddey, because I think Giddey's ability to bring out more in Shai makes Shai in a better situation than Anthony Edwards, will makes him that much better than Anthony Edwards when we're comparing them as duos, not as players.
I'm not going to
duos.
change your minds. We might as well move forward. I don't know. I mean, I feel bad. Z's been hearing this rant. What do you got to say, Z?
No, y'all got it. Y'all got it. I look at it from a perspective of I'm not completely on Hoop's side with it, because I do see Saney's point to where it's like Saney could literally say that, like he just said, that Josh Giddey is the weakest out of the four. But at the same time, it's more, I think, what you prefer in a playoff series when you're looking at the makeup of the duo alone. With Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert, for example, you're getting Anthony Edwards 3-level scoring. You're getting the fact that he is a pretty solid two-way player, and he's, working his way into peak shape for that, or as he's getting older. He's only going to get better, right? And for Rudy Gobert, in my opinion, we've seen the best that Rudy Gobert can give you. When you're looking at it in a playoff series format, you got 7 games. So it's a matter of, is Rudy Gobert's defense in the paint, with all the blocks and all the lobs.
The Wolves
that
have better
there.
team defenders, by the way. This has nothing to do with the duo, but I'm saying when you're talking about Rudy being a first-round exit and I don't know if you mentioned his playoff struggles with him getting taken out the paint. That's a lot. That's very situational.
Right.
So as a player, I'm not going to pin that on him until I see it happen in another situation, which very well can, because he has that mobility issue. But the Timberwolves do have better team defenders. But go, carry on. I
also see Saney's point to where it's a matter of, bringing out the best in your teammate. SGA and Giddey being so young, trying to get every level of experience they can going up against top-notch competition. Because like you said, being that the Lakers are in the play-in tournament right now, they're still a pretty solid team to beat. If the Thunder's beating the Lakers, that's a pretty good win for them, being that the Lakers are expected to do a little bit more than the Thunder are. So I agree with Saney on the point of bringing the best out of your partner is great and beneficial for success, especially in a duo. And with SGA and Giddey, the responsibilities that Giddey has playmaking-wise aren't the same responsibilities that SGA has. Same way with SGA's defense when you're looking at Giddey. Same way with SGA's scoring even when you're looking at Giddey. So, if you can complement each other by picking up the slack for areas that the other person can't really cover, that's really beneficial. So either way, you can go Ant, you can go Cat, or you can go SGA and Giddey, and I'm not mad either way. Because honestly, with SGA and Giddey, chemistry and all those things matter a ton for two players like that. Ant and Cat, it's more or less chemistry kind of plays a part, but playing your part individually is very, very important for those two. Because Ant's going to handle the scoring and handle the setting up Rudy Gobert, if you will. But Rudy's supposed to hold down the paint. And like you said, it's a topic for another day. But, when you drag him out to the perimeter, a whole different story gets brought up. But, I see both sides of it.
When we talk duos, man, chemistry plays a big part. Like how you can we've seen it multiple times where you put two really good players on the same team and it doesn't work out because they can't mesh together. So that's all I'm going to say. But we can move on and we can go from 9 to 6 now.
All right. My number 9. Well, I already said that. It was John Bain.
8. Sorry. Apologies.
I got Zion and Ingram from the Pels.
For 8, for me, I have Sabonis and Fox.
8 for me, I have Ja, and this is where me and Hoop disagree. I put Jaren Jackson Jr. as the duo.
That's fair. That's very fair. That's honestly more like that's a good chemistry topic as well. At 7, oh God, I have Stephen Clay. Yeah, I want to see Z's reaction there. I could back it though. It's fine.
Oh my God.
That's not crazy.
That's not crazy.
Okay, we'll see.
What
right,
are you talking? No,
for 7.
See, that's why I made that noise, bro. I knew this was gonna happen. I was like, oh God, I'm gonna have to argue this now. I knew this was gonna happen.
No. We'll argue it at the end. That's why I was literally doing this. Like, let's calm it down a little. Let's get the waves done.
Oh my God.
Give your 7. Give your 7, Z. Let's go.
My 7 is Ja, and I put actually Desmond Bane, but I can see the Jaren Jackson for sure. I was just stuck in between.
I mean, either
didn't
one
know.
works. Either one works. I put Jokic and MPJ at 7.
MPJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's Murray. I think Murray is hella inconsistent, bro. And if you look at MPJ, he's underrated. I think he's the second star in Denver. But-
MPJ is so tough.
He is. He really
We're
is.
up to
Underrated.
6.
Yep.
I have Sabonis and Fox at 6.
Okay. Fair.
All right. For 6, I have Braun and Anthony Davis.
I got 6. I got Curry and Clay.
We got some stuff to talk about.
We do. I can't wait.
That's the end of it, right? The 4?
No, we have 5.
Or-
We have to do 5.
5. Wait, so I got one more?
Yep.
At 5, I put Jokic and Murray only because I think Murray needs to be the guy in the playoffs, and I think he will be.
Yeah, I guess but I haven't seen Murray in 2 years, so that's why.
I saw him play against the Knicks. He looked like more like a healthier version, so that's what I'm basing this off. He looked pretty good.
Okay.
For my number 5,
of the season, of course, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
For my number 5, I also have Jokic and Murray. I do also believe that in order for them to be really successful, Jokic is going to be there, but Murray's going to have to be that guy, that number 2, that Robin.
You can. For me, I didn't look at it as like what I believe they need to do. It's what I'm seeing from the season.
Okay, fair.
I didn't base my perspective off of what I think. But I'm on number 5. I have Fox and Sabonis. Before we do the Curry Clay stuff, because I know that's going to take up the big chunk of this time, I got to ask, Z, how do you have Fox and Sabonis so low? They are leading their team to the number 1 offense in the league.
Nah, Sandy, you got more balls than me. I was about to put those two over the Jokic duo.
I put them over.
Respect for that.
Of course I put them up. Bro,
what do
you
you mean,
guys
of
are
course?
really underrated. No, I'm saying of course I put them over.
But, what do you mean? That's
No.
not enough. Of course, I'm saying it's a solid pick. I was about to do it.
I think. Well, I'll talk about because you guys both have Jokic and MPJ at 5, right?
Jokic and Murray,
Or if they're Jokic and Murray. I put Jokic and MPJ at 7 because Jokic. I believe that if Jokic, if we were talking like even an all-star level player beside Jokic, he's number 1. That duo was number 1 because Jokic will literally make anybody he plays with better. Jokic, I believe, is like the perfect guy to pair with any star in this league. Denver, unfortunately, doesn't have that set star yet. And I believe by next season, if MPJ takes the leap that I believe he will take, they will be a lot higher on this list. If MPJ becomes like a 23-plus points per game scorer and a legitimate threat night in and night out, then I'll put him up. He's had a few inconsistent nights, though, and he's not reliable night in, night out. I do think he has one of the best clips in the league, but he can disappear at times. I'm quoting from my friends that are Denver Nuggets fans. I have a few Serbian friends and, Jokic, of course. And I see them complain about MPJ and Murray all the time. And that's why I have them lower than other guys because, like, again, I always look at it as a duo, man. Like, how do they complement each other? How are they by themselves as a threat? Jokic is the biggest threat in the world, but a big part of Jokic's game is playing off of other players and allowing other players to get open and to get shots. And when you have a guy you can't rely on night in and night out, Jokic's ability, it's not used to its full potential, which is why I have them low.
The main reason that I have Sabonis and Fox so low is basically because
where did you have them again? Can you run through that segment
they were at 8.
of the list?
They were at 8.
8 is ridiculous.
Can you run through that segment though, so the viewers can hear?
So I have
8 to 5.
Okay, 8 Sabonis and Fox, 7 Ja and Desmond Bane or Jaren Jackson Jr., 6 Braun and AD, 5 Jokic and Murray. Now,
why do you have
we got
Ja
a couple
over
things
Fox
to
and
cover,
Sabonis?
bro.
Yeah, like that's the
because
craziest
here's
one.
the thing that y'all are failing to point out, and this is the thing that makes our list so different is because we're looking at this from 3 different places and 3 different perspectives. When I look at Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, one thing automatically popped into my head as I was trying to figure out where to rank them, and that is, well, can I judge playoff success before? No, I really can't. Fox has never been in the playoffs.
That was
Sabonis
my
has been in
separator
there.
with the Nuggets and the Kings.
Right. Sabonis has been in there 3 times. His career averages is 9.6. Didn't do anything special. He hasn't been in there since 2019. So in my head,
one of them was a Thunder year though, when he got like 2 points a game. And
That's
it was
the
before
point.
he was good.
That's the point.
That's
like
not
it's like, oh my bad.
That's the point.
I didn't mean to bring back bad.
No,
No, I
like,
didn't
but
mean
like,
like
no,
he
no, no,
was
but
like-
like, no, but
Oh,
like, say,
it's a
don't
sensitive
say like
topic
9
on the
points.
Thunder.
No. I'm just saying, no. I'm just he was trash on the Thunder. Don't say 9 points per game like when he was in his prime and he fell off completely.
Yeah, right.
Like just to add context, like he was very young in some of those
The
years.
point.
He's
the
trying
context,
to throw dirt on Domas.
no. The context that I'm trying to apply is the fact that playoff experience and things of that nature kind of make up a lot of my list, as you'll see as we move closer and closer towards the top one. But for Sabonis and Fox, like as Cindy said, they've been absolutely electrifying this year. One of the best duos that I've seen so far in the regular season. And I think that after All-Star break alone, people were asking questions as to, will the Sacramento Kings be able to keep it up? Will they fall into the play-in tournament, or will they stay above 500, stay above the 4 seed, things of that nature? And so far, they've been doing their thing. The biggest difference is Sabonis is not that great of an interior defender. Not really. He plays the big man position, but he isn't one of the best big man defenders we have in the league. One of the great offensive big men we have in the league. You know, with Jokic being there, it's kind of hard to put him up against him. But Sabonis does his thing too. He can get you a double-double easily any given night. And Fox, his tempo and the way he controls the game is absolutely electrifying. Clutch, king of the fourth quarter, all that. We get all that. For me, I have not seen either of these two players have any season like this before. So it's hard for me to judge how they're going to be in the playoffs, being that, A, it's De'Aaron Fox's first playoff ever. So he could, be averaging 25 plus and doing all the things that he's doing right now. Or, spotlight might be too big. Who knows? For Sabonis, he's never really had a moment where he's had this prominent of a role, I would say, like for a team. And it's a clear cut that this team is a top 3 seed in the West, top 5 offense in the league, things of that nature. But I don't know if they're going to be able to, if this duo alone can really out battle other duos I have ahead of it. Even a
This
LeBron
is
and
the Julius
Anthony
Randle
Davis.
dilemma.
Right.
Keep going, but
I was going to say, even with the LeBron and Anthony Davis, because in my opinion, I was struggling to rank them too. I was like, how can I rank them when I ain't seen them play together in months? But at the same time, I'm just thinking to myself, well, a healthy AD and a healthy LeBron complement each other so well, and they've won a championship before by doing so. Last time they were in the playoffs, we didn't see them healthy for an entire round. So, assuming health and things of that nature, I would say I would confidently take Braun and AD over Sabonis and Fox, despite how great they're playing this year. So that's
I have
what makes it
LeBron
tough.
and AD over them too.
Right?
I have Braun and AD over them. I haven't mentioned where I have Braun and AD
Okay.
yet. So I agree with you there. I think the fact that I do understand your guys' point where it's like, will they disappear in the playoffs? They haven't had experience yet. We cannot judge them. 100%, I agree with that. But when it comes to Fox and Sabonis, man, especially in the Western Conference this season, when you're leading a team to basically a guaranteed 2 seed at this point, maybe even a 1st seed with what Denver's doing lately. I can pull up the standings right now actually and see how far off they are after Denver's little
slipping, man. Joel's
I mean Denver. I mean
through the roof, baby.
they're still 4 games
I
ahead.
think
The Grizzlies,
Giannis should win it. That's a topic for another day. I think I think it should be Giannis, but go ahead.
I mean, we'll talk about MVP. Okay, we're cycling completely. We're going to the whole different conference now. But yeah, man. For me, I got to put the Kings there because number 1 offense in the league. The jump they've made. I don't see Fox. I mean, I know this is kind of lame to bring up, and I don't know how much this really justifies it. But I've seen Fox play in like March Madness and like that pressurized situation, right? And he has stepped up in big moments.
That's
I
fair.
mean, obviously this was 5 years ago,
That's
right?
fair. Yep.
But as a player, he has been known to step up in big moments when he's had the opportunity.
Yep.
So he has not given me a reason to believe he wouldn't step up because he's been playing on the Kings, and the Kings have been the Kings for so long, right? So it's like, can we really blame them for not going to the playoffs on Fox, or can we blame them on the Kings? Like, the best move they made was trading Tyrese Halliburton, and that was an insane move. But I mean, they got Sabonis back, but that's like the extent they had to go to become a playoff team, like trading Tyrese Halliburton for a guy that's way older, which it worked out, fair enough. But I'm just saying, like, that's the Kings for you, right? I gotta put them over because, man, like, when you watch them play, bro, it's like that they are the number 1 offense. This might be the best offense I've seen since Golden State, prime Golden State. Like, when I watch these Kings play, I'm like, damn, they are nice, right? Why would that not translate in the playoffs? And you guys also, I do understand we're doing duos, so this isn't contributing towards my point or Fox of Sabonis, but I mean, other players on that team have playoff experience, so I think the Kings as a whole will do good in the playoffs. They have players that have won rings, like Harrison Barnes, right? They know what it takes to go far. That's not going to be a point contributing to my duo talk. Obviously, I just want to mention the fact that I do believe in the Kings. But
Hey, good. You
Um,
heard,
I think the biggest thing.
as long as you got
Can I ask
Harrison
you a
Barnes,
question,
you good, bro.
Sadie?
Yeah.
When did you talk to your Serbian friend about the Jamal Murray thing?
I just get texts from them all the time, bro. I just get
Like-
like they think Murray's the biggest waste. I mean, we were out last night watching the March Madness
Really?
games, and he was just talking to me about how he hates Murray.
Well,
apparently he'll go for like 450 one night and drop 10 the next night and be the reason why they lost.
well, hold on. Because I could see some spotty games where one of them he only plays 25 minutes. So you get the point. Like there's some like low scoring games here, but since January, the start of January, he is averaging 23 points, 7 assists, a steal, 4 boards on 45, 40, 85.
That's pretty good.
That's like
I don't know. I'm speaking. I chose MPJ based off of. I don't watch Nuggets games. I'll be honest. So I said like I'm using MPJ because I've heard from fans.
we should
Murray's
move on
spotty.
then, if we
Don't take my word for it though. Like I'm not the one saying it.
yeah.
I'm just judging my opinion of others.
Also, let me just say the whole Jokic is bad at defense thing is completely true, bro.
I told you.
No, bro.
You know how many?
I watched.
You know
I
how
watched a full game against the Knicks because I've seen like I've watched through full like halves of Jokic because they don't televise Denver games. So whenever they score like 80 and a half, I'm like, how does this offense work? And it's crazy. And I don't, I watch the defense, but I just, I zone out because I want to see how the ball moves. But like he cannot move. Denver's going. I think Denver's going out early. Like I thought that was all a bunch of just media narratives, but
depending on what happens, they could go out in the first round.
He gets caught at the top of the key, like way up there, like 2 feet past the 3-point line at the top,
raps.
and he cannot get back. He can't get back.
In the playoffs last year against the Warriors first round, that's all it was hot pick and rolls and making Jokic look like he wanted to literally do the Cupid shuffle. They were making him do twister and everything out there. Them legs was moving. They was trying to get him to do everything, and he couldn't.
But Sabonis isn't all that much better, so that's why it didn't sway me in that argument. But we got to move forward. I really want to. I want to get to this Warrior talk.
Can't wait.
Bro.
Let's. Here's the thing. We spent too much time on the Kings.
So we can see where he has him.
Okay, yeah, sure. We'll talk about the Warriors because I feel like this is gonna be the biggest thing. Because
remember,
where
does he have?
We have like 25 minutes max left.
So we're up to 4.
Yep.
I have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker.
Yo, okay,
All right,
okay.
Word.
Okay, that's under.
At 4,
man.
I have Luka and Kyrie Irving.
I did not.
I
Yo,
did. That's
okay.
both of you.
I
Both of
did.
you are crazy. Both of you are crazy. I got at number 4. I have LeBron and Anthony Davis.
At 3, I have Luka, Kyrie.
At 3, I have D Book and KD.
At 3, I have Kawhi and Paul George.
Oh.
At 3, I have Kawhi and Paul George.
At 2, I have Kawhi and Paul George.
At 2, I have Kawhi and Paul George.
At 2, I have Luka and Kyrie.
Wait, he didn't say the Warriors yet. He's number 1.
Oh, I
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
I mean, tripping.
Go ahead, who?
At least
No,
mine is like circumstantially they can be number 1, which is what I'm relying on. I got LeBron and AD.
Interesting.
Sure.
Interesting.
Sure. I'm not mad about
I
it.
ain't
I'm not
mad
mad
at
at
it.
it.
I ain't mad at it.
No, I want to
Who's
hear
your-
this
who's
number
your
1.
number
No,
one?
say it so I can say mine
Say
and we
it.
can
My
go back.
number
Say it.
one. My
Say
number
it,
one
please.
are the Splash Brothers. 4-time champion Splash
He's
Brothers.
a Warriors. That's a
Warriors
Warriors fan, man.
A Warriors fan
That's
since
a
July.
classic
might I add.
Warriors fan.
A
Point me
Warriors
to a
fan
Game
since
6
July.
Anthony
might I
Davis,
add.
please.
All
Please.
the rumors are
Point
true.
me to a Game 6 Anthony
What?
Davis.
A Game 6
Point
Anthony
me to
Davis.
it.
Are we falling on a
Dog,
Game
dog,
6?
dog,
Go ahead,
dog,
let's
can I say my one?
Let's go.
Is
Let's
that
go.
what
Let's
we're
get into this.
doing?
I really can't
Can I
wait.
say my
Go
one?
ahead,
Can I say my one? Can I say my one?
What's all right? Who's your one?
Can I say my one? I got Devin Booker
I'm not mad at
and
that. I'm
Kevin
genuinely
Durant.
not. I'm not.
I gotta say this about because I have Curry and Clay at 6. I will say this, like they complement each other so well because when you're that much of a threat in the perimeter and you have 2 guys on the court that can destroy you at any point, which is me and you, who we basically have them in the same spot, 6, 7. That's like whatever. When you have 2 guys that much of a threat from the perimeter, it opens up the floor for each of them so much more. They do create a lot of space for each other, and I don't think they're a bad duo whatsoever when I go at you for this. But to say number 1 is blasphemy. That is actually like the number 1 Western Conference duo. Wait. I gotta ask. Are they your number 1 duo in the league?
Steph and Clay?
Yeah.
Actually, they're not. It's really Joel and Harden. Crazy.
But you had
crazy
Giannis and
story.
Drew as your number one in the East, and you put Joel and
Yeah,
Harden
but
under
that
the
was not-
Celtics.
The Bucks
you put
have
them
50.
So
The
wait,
Bucks
wait,
have
you put
50
the
wins.
No, but we're
Uh-oh.
ranking duos. We're
You
ranking
asked me if it
duos.
was my favorite.
What?
You asked
We're
me if it was
ranking
my favorite
duos.
duo. You asked if it was my favorite duo.
No, I said is there your number one? Are they your number one duo in the league? That's what I asked you.
Oh, Steph. Wait,
Your
Steph and Clay?
favorite
No.
duo is on the Sixers?
Of course they're your
It's not
favorite
your own
duo.
team?
Yeah, wait,
It's-
what?
I
Whoa.
like James Harden. And I haven't
Whoa.
seen Steph and Clay
So
all
you're-
season.
No,
You're
we
telling-
got so much to talk about.
What do you mean? Look, Steph Curry's been out twice
Are
this
you
year.
trying? Are
Yo,
you trying?
how much
with
is it?
injuries.
How much is it? How much did you pay for the ticket?
Huh?
The ticket to board the bandwagon. How much did you pay for it? How much did you pay for it?
Wow. Okay, let me get into this because I'm not about to do this.
Get him,
First of all,
Sandy.
I'm not letting Hoop off the hook. I'm not letting Hoop off the hook right now for having LeBron and Anthony Davis number one. What you talking about me hopping on the bandwagon?
What?
You seem to be representing a lot of you seem representing the broad sexual community right now because tell me this: how the hell is LeBron James
He's
and
ranking
Anthony
duos.
Davis?
He's ranking
LeBron
duos.
and Anthony Davis. How many games have we seen LeBron and Anthony Davis play since they won the chip in 2020?
ZZ Huncho, is LeBron James a top 10 to 15 player in this league?
Yes, he is. Of course, he is.
Is
Why would
Anthony
you ask me that?
Davis a top 10 to 15 player in this league?
Yes, he is.
come
Yes, he
on
is. Yes,
now.
he is.
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
all
he
right.
How
is.
many
Yes,
other
he is.
duos
He said it, he
can
said
you
it, he
say?
said it.
I
He
already
said it, he
said
said
it's
it, he said it.
circumstantial.
Yes,
But we please,
Right.
Warriors.
It's circumstantial.
Yeah, bro.
Let's
Warriors
talk
is different.
about. Let's
Warriors
talk about
is different.
that. Let's talk
Warriors
about
is
this.
different.
To what Sandy just said. To what I'm about to make my argument. Don't even worry about it. To what Sandy just said. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. We're talking about the best damn duos in the Western Conference. We're talking about the best damn duos in the Western Conference. So when I sat back and ZZ Huncho had to look at this list, right? I had to look at this list. I had to really look at it. You feel me? I'm sitting here looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, well, what is Hoop gonna say? What's Sandy gonna say? Kawhi, PG?
What do you
D-Book
think
and
I was
KD
going
about
to
to
say?
listen?
Please.
I really thought
What'd
you
you think I was gonna say?
I really thought you were gonna put Kawhi and PG number one.
I was
I'm not
close.
gonna
I
cap.
thought
I'm
that
not
was
even
super
mad at
super
you.
close.
I'm not-
I agree with Z there. I thought you were gonna put them there.
Yeah,
dude,
if
because
it
you're a big
wasn't
Kawhi
for
guy.
mad
Paul
at you.
George, he would have been there. We would have been
Yeah.
Okay, fair
What?
point. No,
Walter's
because
good.
okay,
Nah,
hold on. I know
there's-
what he means. I know what he means. But here's my thing. I look at the entire rest of this list and I'm thinking to myself, D-Book and KD. I've seen them play 3 games together, 4. So and granted, they did both do. They went crazy in that game. I ain't gonna lie. They did go crazy. So by default, I feel like a lot of people are gonna automatically say, well, D-Book and Kevin Durant, yeah, throw them number one. I'm not gonna be that person. ZZ Huncho was not that person. Luka and Kyrie Irving, same exact damn thing applies. Oh my God, Luka and Kyrie, they're together now. The Mavericks finally have all the answers. No, they don't. They don't have any of the answers solved. They just got 2 dynamic scorers. They both can give you 30. Doesn't matter, but you don't really know if one's gonna give you 30 on 65% efficiency, and the other Luka's gonna give you 30 on 45 fucking free throws. You don't know. No one knows. All right. I know it doesn't add up to 30, but still, whatever. The point is getting me mad. When I look at Steph Curry and I look at Klay Thompson and I think about duos, especially in the Western Conference, over the course of, you could point to this season, you could point to plenty of seasons of before, I have seen numerous instances of this duo alone when their back is against the wall and the media sitting here asking who the hell's going to show up on Golden State, Steph and Klay Thompson. Sandy remembers this vividly. I mean, shit,
How
I was
about
in 8th
last
grade.
night against Memphis, bro? Who showed up?
Okay, so
Hey, Clay,
so
you know when you
Hey,
know Clay's having a bad game
four
when he starts
rings.
doing this one.
I got
When he
one
starts
more.
doing this one, you know he had a bad game.
He's not lying. He's not lying.
You know Clay had a bad game when he starts doing this.
he's not lying. Anytime
And
Klay
I've
results the
seen
rings,
him.
he's having a bad game.
It's like I'm seeing him do that celly like once a month, bro.
Oh, God. Hey, but listen. I don't give a damn about none of that. Like I said before, you can point to Anthony Davis, you can point to LeBron James. As far as I'm concerned, Game 6, Klay Thompson was born in Oklahoma City. In that same exact game, people like to talk about, Klay
All right, I'm
Thompson had
getting
41
serious.
and 11
All right, we're
three
getting
pointers.
serious.
And Steph Curry had 31, a quiet 31. The Game 7 right after that, Curry drops another 30 bomb. I've seen the Splash Brothers
How
show
about
up. Game
Game
6
3
against
Klay?
Toronto,
No, but
2019.
no. Wait. Before we bring up other Clay stats, Z. Okay, I understand the Splash Brothers will go off for a lot of shots, right? But those guys as a duo don't include the multiple illegal screens that get set for the Warriors and the set pieces the Warriors run.
That's
Well,
not.
yeah,
That's
no, I'm
not.
saying-
That's not what
No,
we're
okay,
talking about.
fine,
That's
not
not
illegal
what we're
screens.
talking about.
Okay, we're
Hold
illegal
on.
screens.
No, say it.
Okay,
He may be spitting. He may be spitting.
You can say
The
that.
screens,
No,
fine.
Sandy. No, I need to say this because I made a video on it. It's good. It's fine if they get away with it because they're not illegal unless they're called. So your point should be it doesn't account for the system they run. For example, Draymond, the other pieces that fit that system. But I know what you're trying to say. You separate them.
Yes.
I'm saying
You're
saying they're
separating-
illegal is
you're
like
at-
you're
you're
trying to
acting
like
as
take a
if-
cheap knock.
You're
but,
acting.
yeah.
You're acting as if the Warriors, like Clay and Steph, as a duo by themselves are going to be able to play the same way they play on the Warriors. They're not. The Warriors are set up. We're talking about duos. We're not talking about...
We are.
Right? So, what are Clay and Steph going to do without them Draymond screens? Without them Kevin Looney screens? Compared to other players on this list? I'm not saying they're bad.
Context matters.
So
what about them in context?
Yeah, sure. And Curry and Clay are great, but you're telling me, yeah, sure. I know, 100%. The Warriors get Clay and Steph open. They're the ones who get them these looks, and obviously Steph will do his little dribble around, and you'll get an open shot, and Steph will do some crazy stuff for sure. But look at the other guys on this list. Do you really trust Steph and Clay? Without the Warriors, we're looking at a duo, right? Without the Warriors, do you really trust Steph and Clay to take you farther in a series other than a guy like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant? Guys who can take over games without, running off a screen, playing off. Like, Steph's whole game is off-ball. His whole playmaking aspect is off-ball playmaking. We can agree on that, right?
Yeah.
We can agree on that, right? And that's accounted to the Warriors playing perfectly around them. They're a great team. I'm not hating on them whatsoever, right? But we're talking about duos, and you're ranking Clay and Steph as the number one duo in the West. But
they're the greatest shooting backcourt of all time. I don't think that, and that's
are we
that's
doing
not
top
even,
10 shooting backcourts? Are we doing the top 10 shooting duos? Are we doing top 10 shooting duos?
If you're talking about that, is not all. See, this is the problem that I'm having.
You can throw Kyle Korver in that backcourt with Steph Curry, and it's still the best shooting backcourt of all time.
Oh, I thought you said I was. Okay, sorry. Yes, Hoop's right. Hoop is right.
That's exactly right. Tell me right now. That's exactly right.
We're talking about shooting.
Exactly right.
All right, wait. Let's all stop yelling.
You mean to tell me that Kyle Korver? You mean to tell me that Kyle Korver is giving me 60 points on 11 dribbles?
I didn't
say that. Kyle Korver is giving me 37 points. You mean to tell me that Kyle Korver is
don't tell me to be quiet. Stop yelling. You mean to tell me that Kyle Korver gives me 14 threes in the game? You mean to tell me that Kyle Korver... If you give Kyle Korver the bar, stop yelling. Stop yelling over each other, boys. Stop yelling over each other. Stop yelling over each other.
Who is the second best shooting backcourt of all time?
The second best?
Can you even think of one?
Is it Kyle Korver? Is it Ray Allen?
No, but listen,
I'm saying if you put Kyle Korver with Steph Curry, even though he's worse than Klay Thompson, that's still the best shooting backcourt of all time. That's the point you brought up.
100%.
Okay, no.
That's easily the best shooting backcourt of all time.
And by the way, Kyle Korver can make that many threes on no dribbles because it's Kyle Korver. You just give him a catch and shoot opportunity.
I will say
if you gave Kyle Korver a bunch of open threes,
I'm not co-signing this.
You started it, so
if you gave Kyle Korver a bunch of catch and shoot threes in a game and he was hot, it's possible. No, that's not a crazy thing to say.
This is my problem.
If you gave him the opportunities, if you gave him the touches, when has Kyle Korver ever been given more than 10 shots a game? When has Kyle Korver ever been given more than 10 threes a game?
He had a lot of touches in that 2018 Cavs team.
I'm not co-signing
He had a lot of touches with LeBron James on his team.
No, when he was 39, bro. Like what? Like you give me Atlanta. Listen, you give me Atlanta Hawks Kyle Korver. No, listen, you give me Atlanta Hawks Kyle Korver with the Draymond Green screens, right? And you give him 25 shots to shoot that game. He'll give you at least 10 of them. She'll make at least 10 of them. What are you guys talking about?
If he has Draymond Green setting from screens, mate, I'm not hating on Kyle Korver.
If he's just running around the whole time getting these open looks, bro, he'll go on a hot streak, and you guys are tripping if you think he wouldn't. I'm not saying he will. He's not that type of player. But if you gave him the opportunity, if the opportunity was there, the guy would take it. The guy would take it.
Kyle Korver.
But yeah, no, Z, I agree with Hoop. Like, and you there's not like a solidified shooting backcourt other than Clay and Steph. Like, that's the first time we've ever seen something like that where two guys can shoot the lights out. We're talking about top 10 duos, not top 10 shooting duos.
If they're a backcourt, they're a duo. And we're talking about the top 10 duos in the Western Conference. They're in the Western Conference. As far as I'm concerned, they checked off 2 of the boxes right there. And the third box is considering the fact that when you look at every other duo,
Lauri Markkanen is a duo in the West with Jordan Clarkson. That's what you're checked off.
What were the boxes they checked off?
But your boxes you just checked off. Your boxes you just checked off.
Are they in the Western Conference?
Applied to every team in the West.
Are they in the Western Conference? Check. Are they a duo? Check. Do they have a better track record?
2 players. What kind of box is that?
What do you mean? I'm talking about, okay, just listen to me right now. Please.
They are a duo. They're a duo.
It doesn't matter.
There's 2 of them. They got 2 of them over there.
I'm saying the thing that's getting me mad is that y'all are trying to sit here and act like because I'm calling them the greatest shooting backcourt of all time, and the backcourt is a duo last time I checked. They're already good on that. So what more do you want? They have the best playoff track record.
No.
They have the best playoff track record.
Let's just calm for a second.
You take JJ Redick?
I take JJ Redick as the best shooting backcourt of all time.
Wait. Let's stop talking.
Down.
Let's stop talking for a second, okay? No, stop talking for a sec. Stop talking for a sec.
Backcourt of all time.
Yes. Stop talking for a sec. All right, let's just calm down because we're all yelling. we're all yelling. We need to relax for a second because I need to go back to Z's point. Because Z, I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself here because I genuinely think you're just hyper.
You better.
And you did it. No. You didn't. No. I'm not talking about his Curry Clay point. I think you genuinely are just hyper. And you said something that you didn't mean to say. I don't want to let you backtrack.
Okay.
And re-say it.
Let's go.
Because you said, let me finish. You were like, oh, they're a duo. Check. They play in the Western Conference. Check. Okay. And then your third point was just reiterating the fact that they played in the backcourt together. How does that make them number one? Why are they number one? I'm not saying you're wrong.
Because they're the best shooting backcourt of all
time.
time. He already said it.
His first 3 points on why they were number one was that they play in the backcourt. There's 2 of them, and they're in the West.
See, y'all got to be hyper, bro. Y'all got to be a little hyper. Y'all got to be a little hyper.
You're right. He's right. You're right. Like you're right. Like they are a backcourt.
Let me backtrack. The point that I was trying to make is when I look at Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, I'm going to say this finally. Out of every other duo on this list, they have done more in the playoffs together than all of these duos. Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
Fair.
And I'm talking about Kawhi and Paul George because Kawhi and Paul George, if they don't do anything this year, that's going to be...
You don't got to elaborate on that. I got you.
Yes. You don't have to elaborate the duos. You don't have to elaborate the duos.
So all I'm saying is that is the reason why I have them number one, and that was the reason why I expected them to at least be in the top 5 for y'all, because when you look at a playoff track record for this duo alone, compared to other duos in this list, they have the better playoff track record. History shows that. The facts show that. The stats, even with Kawhi and PG, like, I mean, if you compare the stats of playoff performing between both, pairings, Klay shoots better than Paul George, Steph shoots better than Kawhi, averages more than Kawhi, blah, 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 however you want to use that. But all I'm saying is I took all of that into account on top of the fact that if I said to myself, if their back is against the wall, I'm not counting out the Splash Brothers. Haven't done it since middle school. I
see your point.
The only time that they've proven me wrong was when Klay got hurt in the finals in 2019.
I'll say this. I completely disagree with your point that they're number one.
Okay.
But if you were to put them top 4, okay. I have them at 6. You can give me an argument. No. That's what I'm saying. Like, top 4 is still too much for me. I have them at 6.
Hold on. This is what I want to say. Sorry. Well, if you want to finish your point, but I have
them at 6. And the only duo that you can argue with me, Z, that I will sit and be like, you know what, there's something there, is Sabonis and Fox. LeBron and AD, Kawhi and PG, Luka and Kyrie, Book and KD, that's hard to take over. As a duo, that's hard to be over.
And here's the thing.
Because of Klay Thompson. And it's because of Klay Thompson. It's not because of Steph.
So would you say,
it's because of Klay Thompson.
You say that Kyrie and Luka Doncic play off of each other better than the Splash Brothers do? I don't believe that at all. And
the Splash Brothers have much more chemistry.
Like Sandy said, with the SGA
but it's 2 superstars. But I do, and here's the thing, Z, I do agree with your point to an extent, and that's a lot of my criteria is how do they play well together. But at the end of the day, Luka and Kyrie are 2 superstars that turn up in the playoffs.
I think they're 2 proven closers.
They're 2 exactly. Like, they're 2 proven superstars in the playoffs. So that's why I put them so high up, even though we've never seen them.
Fair point.
But in a majority of the time, I do agree with that point, Z.
I was going to say with the duo now, obviously the Warriors have always had a great defense thanks to Draymond Green. With that duo of the Splash Brothers, now that the defense is falling apart, do you think that the offensive production holds up to the standard of these other duos that provide some value on the defensive side of the ball, even though Steph and Klay are quite clearly at this point only offense?
The way I look at it is, I see your point on that. I really do, because and I agree with you to the extent of Draymond Green was the defensive, enforcer, however you want to call it. But when I look at Steph and Klay, however, like case in point, when Steph, Klay, Wiggs, Draymond, Looney, that starting lineup is when they played together this year, they were the best offensively, the best starting lineup in the league, and a lot of that was attributed to Steph's off-ball gravity, Klay's off-ball gravity, and things of that nature. So I think that offensively, they can still do what they need to do. Steph Curry, we've talked about it. Steph Curry isn't like a bum on defense. Is not like someone that you look at and you say,
I'm saying
he just can't play.
But he's not bringing as much value, I'm saying, as like a defensive big. For example, like LeBron and AD.
I feel you.
Like they bring more value defensively. So that's
Right. They do. And in the Warriors case, a lot of the time when I look at this duo alone, I think that their offensive game, being that they have raised it and had so many of these iconic games in the playoffs and great performances in the playoffs alone, individually and together, I think that is a testament to just when you look at how great of an offensive player someone is, sometimes defense or that great offensive play alone can overshadow some of the defensive woes. Klay Thompson specifically, when you look back at how he was like in his earlier years, was one of the best, if not the best, two-way guard in the league, shooting guard, right? But now, obviously, injuries later, he's regressed. But at the same time, he can still hold his own on defense. Like he still has 6'6", still got the wingspan, still got the reach, things like that. Klay Thompson isn't gonna just flat out fall on his face on the defensive end. That's the thing that I looked at. So I understand people have the defensive concerns, but I don't when I look at the fact that they're not like they haven't fallen off the wagon to the bottom of the pile of the worst defenders in the league that you could possibly have match up with somebody else, because they still give
there's
that
a difference
effort.
between not bringing all that much value and not being a liability. They're not a liability. They're just there.
Right.
The last thing I'll
I
say
agree.
is, I know, like, I've used history, for example, in the past. Like, if LeBron and AD didn't win a ring together, I'd probably put Kawhi and PG one. But that's a big factor. Since they play together, they have good chemistry when they play together. And I just like what they bring value-wise. But with Steph and Klay, obviously looking at this season, they've struggled on the road, like, mightily. Do you think that changes in the playoffs? Did you take that into consideration?
Man. I've been waiting. Don't worry. Next episode, we're going to talk about that.
I think they
I
had
that in the chamber. I've been having that in the chamber since I
think they go
streak started.
crazy at home. But, like, if they're in...
Oh, God.
Whether it's... I don't care if it's Memphis or Sacramento. Like, it just hasn't gone well. So what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I'm going to go. Well, I think... So I know Sandy has been waiting. I've been waiting on a Sandy text for real. These last couple of losses.
Waiting
I've been
for it to
waiting on
double
a Sandy
Stick your
text.
tongue out like that.
It's coming to
Sandy.
double
That
digits.
was nasty.
What do you mean, Michael Jordan?
Please no. Please no. If y'all
I'm coming, G.
are
but
watching
I-
on Spotify, all right.
Yeah.
Good on you. You do not. You
Oh my
can't
God.
see this,
Oh
bro.
my gosh.
That is gross.
Listen.
What's gross
Okay,
about it?
so I understand that there is concerns about this Warrior team on the road, but may I remind you that there's been a very, very, very long time since we have seen this Warrior team actually at full strength. And what I mean by that is, if Andrew Wiggins is not there in the
Fair.
playoffs,
I'm talking
do
Steph
not-
and Clay's concerns on the road. I'm sorry if I said
I'm
Warriors.
I'm not tripping over that. Oh, you good. I'm not tripping over that at all. As far as those two are
Should be
concerned,
tripping.
the only thing that
Should
I'm
be
tripping
tripping
off
like some
of
untied
is
shoelaces.
bars. If Wiggins isn't there, GP2 isn't there, that level of loan that you're talking about, the defense alone, like unfortunately we have to kind of break away from duos for a second just to talk about the team, because the Warriors are a team defensive, they're defensive minded team, but it's a team format. Like they can do the box and one, they can do the 2-2-1, all of those things. But it helps if they have an Andrew Wiggins and a GP2, their two best perimeter defenders, because that takes away from Klay Thompson having the responsibility of guarding the best player on the other team like he used to back in 2016 and 2015. Steph Curry doesn't have to worry about that either because he has a GP2 at his position, things like that. So for Klay and Steph alone, I don't think that they would have an issue at all if everybody else is holding their own defensively, because that takes the responsibility away from them so they can focus on getting their shots and keeping the team up. Now, another thing, too, that's something that I think is underrated about this duo is the runs that these two can go on with just the two of them. And I'm talking Klay hitting 2 back-to-back threes, Steph adding 2 back-to-back. Like, that's happened. We've seen that. We've seen both those two be able to contribute mightily to a 15-2 run in less than 2 minutes. We've seen that multiple times. So if we're talking about the playoffs and, these road games specifically, I've watched a lot of them this season, and I have seen that the Warriors' biggest issue is holding or going on a run and then maintaining that afterwards, not letting them chip back in, things like that. But I've also seen Klay Thompson and Steph Curry bring this team back from 15 down, bring this team back from 20-plus down, and, get them right back in or even take the lead. So I have no worry at all with Steph and Klay in terms of them showing up if the pressure's on. Because, they've done it before in their careers. I see them doing it now. It's maybe the last couple of years we can see it, but...
I agree. I agree to that sense. I wouldn't be too stressed. Is there anything you guys really want to go over that's crazy? Because we are nearing the end of the episode. There's no more really major talking points. We should cut it off here.
I guess the last thing I'll say, why KD Book over Kai Luka?
That's a great question. It took me a while to decide who I want to put over who. I put Kevin Durant and Devin Booker over Luka and Kyrie because of Kevin Durant.
That's valid. I just wanted to hear
that
it.
was the pushing point for me, and I hate to say it.
I think the Mavs have two it factors, though.
Yeah, I agree,
like
but also
Kyrie
at the same time,
being a fourth quarter scorer, like he could go bucket for
we
bucket.
are underestimating Book though. Like, look at what Book's doing without Kevin Durant right now. Like, he's dropping 40 a night. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can rely on Devin Booker if Kevin Durant has an off night.
I'll say it right now. Luka's playmaking was a separator for me.
That's fair. That's fair. And if you say Luka over Kyrie, I'm like, man, like I'm not gonna argue it because at one point I was thinking that too. But I was looking at my list and I saw Kevin Durant's name beside the number 2, and I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. God, please let me do this. But my conscience wasn't letting me, and I had to put him at number 1.
Mid-range mafia, baby.
Yeah, seriously, no, that mid-range game is disgusting.
It's so tough.
That mid-range game is disgusting. Anyways, if you're on YouTube, by the way, and you notice my light cut out, I have a whole new lighting setup coming in. It literally Amazon shipping it tomorrow, and I had to use like this cheap light that just died.
In a cave.
I'm filming it, yeah, but like I'm gonna have a super cool lighting setup on Thursday, so you'll see that.
Cave.
You'll see that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're gonna near the end of our episode today. Thank you so much for listening to episode.
Join our Discord.
I was just gonna say that.
Join the Discord, baby.
Episode 60. Make sure to join the Discord. We are like 10 members away from 500 members, which is insane. We have a lot of fun stuff coming. We have a big announcement that's going to be done through the Discord, so make sure to join it. Let's just say LePodcast is expanding. We will see you guys in episode 61.
Peace.
Peace.